And item number 6, starting with 5, AB 1059, Assemblymember Friedman.
Hello, Mr. Chair and members. AB 1059 prohibits the sale and distribution of juvenile products, mattresses, and upholstered furniture that contains fiberglass, and also restricts the use of flame-retardant chemicals in adult mattresses. While the original focus of this bill was just fiberglass, as the bill moved forward, we became aware of other flame-retardant chemical issues with mattresses. In 2018, AB 2098 was signed into law, which banned the use of flame-retardant chemicals in the foam part of mattresses, which is essentially the inner part of mattresses, but still allowed flame-retardant chemicals on the other components of mattresses. In order to eliminate any regrettable substitution problems that might arise from banning the use of fiberglass, we're extending that ban to the rest of the mattresses so that they're not substituting one harmful product with another. Both the federal government and the state of California have set standards that limit flammability with mattresses, as we should have. And for a long time, toxic flame-retardant chemicals were used to meet these standards. But in recognition of their health impacts, the laws and regulations were changed at both a federal and a state level to prohibit the use of these chemicals. You know, we certainly don't want to be lying on something that we know is toxic to humans and has bad health effects. We don't want kids chewing on mattresses that have this. And so what happened was some companies started substituting fiberglass for flame retardants. Now, fiberglass, like asbestos and other chemicals, can cause a lot of harm if it gets into your lungs. It can cause irritation. It can cause a lot worse effects. It's made out of silica sand, limestone, and recycled glass and soda ash, and it has a lifespan of over 50 years. Now, sometimes people will unzip mattresses and unintentionally expose themselves and others to these chemicals. Sometimes it leaches through, and it's been detected outside of mattresses on the surface rather than just inside. And certainly it's a hazard to people who are disassembling mattresses for recycling efforts. Long-term exposure to fiberglass is associated with lung disease, including pulmonary fibrosis, and short-term inhalation to fiberglass can cause lung inflammation and bronchitis. Fiberglass fibers can cause visual changes, bleeding, and scarring if they get embedded in your eyes. We don't want this in your mattresses. I know none of you want this in your mattress, and it's absolutely not necessarily. Only 13% of mattresses have the fiberglass. Mattresses now are made very safely using other kinds of thermal barriers with latex, with wool. There's a lot of natural materials that are now being used, and so we know that this is unnecessary. It should be banned. Our mattresses should be safe. And we have been working very closely with the International Sleep Products Association since the bill's introduction. They share our goal of getting rid of fiberglass from mattresses, and they've been great to work with. As the analysis points out, the remaining issue for them is whether to allow an exemption for monocrylic fibers. At this time, we're not comfortable with adding that because New York State has banned it, and we're still trying to get more information about the reasons why. But we're going to continue our conversations with Big Mattress on this. Testifying in support of our sponsor environmental working group is Bill Alyod and Jordan Wells with the National Stewardship Action Council. And I would request your aye vote so that we can all sleep better.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Good morning, Chair and members. I am Bill Alyod with Environmental Working Group. I think the Assembly member laid out the issues here. I want to say since the last committee I'll testify in that this has been an unusually good working relationship with what could be an opponent, and they aren't opposed. In my 29 years of lobbying, it's been one of the best. And we're sharing science, sharing our experts, and trying to find solutions. And this is an industry that's innovative. They've done the bed in a box. I don't know if any of you have opened a cardboard box and had a mattress appear. They can do that. And they're doing a lot of things on innovation. And they're very aware that consumers don't want toxic chemicals in mattresses. So we've come to agreement on fiberglass, and we're working on the last one, that one fiber/chemical called monocrylics. And we're close on that. We hope to resolve this by appropriations. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for your effort. Next.
Thank you, Chair and members. I am Jordan Wells on behalf of the National Stewardship Action Council, and we're a nonprofit that advocates for an equitable circular economy. I also sit on the state's Mattress Advisory Committee, which advises the Mattress Recycling Council as it implements the statewide mattress stewardship program that was created by law passed by the legislature in 2013. We strongly support AB 1059, which would ban textile fiberglass in mattresses, upholstered furniture, and juvenile products and restrict the use of flame retardant chemicals in adult mattresses. The first pillar of achieving an equitable and circular economy is to design waste and pollution out of the system, which is far less expensive than having to pay for cleanup. Flame retardants and fiberglass negatively impact human and environmental health, and they also complicate the recycling system, adding challenges for recyclers and increasing costs, as stipulated by Terry McDonald, who also sits on the Mattress Advisory Council and represents the largest mattress recycler in Northern California. AB 1059 will protect consumers and recycling workers from harmful additives that also make recycling more expensive. I want to thank Assemblymember Friedman for her leadership and respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Any other witnesses in support in room 2100? Name, affiliation, and position on the measure only, ma'am.
Suzanne Hume, Clean Earth for Kids, strongly support.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Any other support witnesses in room 2100? Name, affiliation, and position on the measure.
Sure. Good morning, Mr. Chair and members. Lauren De Valencia, representing the International Sleep Products Association, whose members are the mattress manufacturers. We do have a supportive amended position, and we are working very closely with the author and the sponsors and really appreciate this ongoing conversation about the remaining fiber. And we do look forward to finding a resolve, but do thank everybody again for the conversations. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Any other support witnesses in room 2100? Seeing none, let's turn to opposition witnesses, lead or otherwise. Any opposition witnesses in room 2100? Seeing none, let's turn to the teleconference service moderator. If you would please prompt any individuals waiting to testify either in support or in opposition to Assembly Bill 1059. We'll take them now.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As he stated, if you're in support or opposition to Assembly Bill 1059, please press 1-0 at this time. Let's go to line 43.
Liz Butler, Californians Against Waste, in support.
Thank you. Next, please.
We'll go to line 27. You are open.
Viviana Hilario, environmental intern for cleanearthforkids.org, strongly support.
Thank you. Next, please.
And a final reminder, 1 followed by 0. If you're in support or opposition to AB 1059, please go ahead, line 18.
Kelly Williams, a human health intern with cleanearthforkids.org, and I strongly support AB 1059.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, please.
And Mr. Chair, we have exhausted the queue.
Good. Colleagues, questions or comments? Senator Becker.
Thank you. I want to thank the author for your work on this bill and toxic chemicals generally. This is an important area to get right. I remember when I was first running, I got an earful from a furniture basically a retail store, but saying that California had mandated certain flame retardants, I think, early on, and then really they realized those were not healthy mandated warnings, but people still had to have them, and so there's sort of a history here where we kind of sort of have to sort through it. But I have a lot of faith in you and Environmental Working Group, and I appreciate that you've been working with. It's nice to hear about a positive working relationship here, in this case with the manufacturers, and I'll move the bill when time comes.
Thank you, Senator. Any other questions or comments, colleagues? Oh, Senator Neal, I'm sorry. I wrote your name down, and Cellophane Man.
I'm easily forgettable. No problem.
Not true.
I'm wondering what role the Safer Consumer Products Program has had with this. It's a program that's tasked to analyze exactly these sorts of things. Have they concurred with the proposal?
Well, unfortunately, what we have found is that a lot of our regulators in California are very slow to act. For instance, PFAS has been studied and allowed for many, many years, even while its negative effects on the environment and on human health is known. So in this particular case, I'm not sure, but certainly they haven't acted to ban fiberglass.
So they haven't weighed in on...
Not that I know of.
Okay, seeing no other hands up, Assemblymember, would you like to close?
I once again want to thank the International Sleep Products Association for caring so much about public health and for the efforts of their members and their willingness to make their products as good as they can possibly be.
Okay, the bill's been moved by Senator Becker. The motion is due pass to Senate Appropriations. Please call the roll.
Roth?
Aye.
Roth, aye. Wen? Avrada Gill? Archuleta.
Aye.
Archuleta, I. Ashby. Ashby, I. Becker. Becker, I. Dodd. Eggman. Eggman, I. Glazer. Nilo. Smallwood Cuevas. Smallwood Cuevas, I. Wahab. Wilk.
Aye.
Wilk, I.
Bill has 7 votes. We'll hold the roll open for absent members.